to another video. It is me, Desiree. It is already the end of September, which is crazy, but it is time to check in on how my Shop My Stash went throughout September. So at the beginning of the month, I shopped my stash for a bunch of products. I put them all on in a video. I used most of them throughout the month, and I'm just going to share with you how it went and whether or not I'm going to keep or declutter the items. I forgot one. So the blushes that I picked out for the month were two mineral blushes from Ulta Beauty. I love the Ulta Beauty line a lot, and the mineral blushes are super nice. This is the shade Sweet Pea. It's just a really nice cool toned pink. And then this is the other one called Calla Lily. I was trying to remember the name without looking. This is a little more warm toned. Like, let me hold them up together so you can see the differences. And to be honest, I didn't really use either of these all that often. I tried to use the cool toned one called Sweet Pea, and I love this one. I've loved this one a lot. It's one of my favorite ones from the mineral line. But I think because the palette that I picked was so warm a lot of the time, I just felt the blush always looked kind of funny. I don't know what it was. So this is the one I used the most. I feel like the blush I put on this morning is like already gone. I don't know. I put on a blush I've had for like 10 million years. I think it might be just kind of old. So I'll put a little of this on. I really like these. I think they're super pretty. They're a nice formula, really beautiful and smooth. A really light satin finish. Just good solid blushes. I'm going to keep both of them, although I didn't use this one too much. I do like these, so I'm going to keep them. The bronzer I picked out was the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer. This took me a while to come around to, although I already really like this. I've just been really into cream bronzer lately, and I don't know what it is. I feel like I've said this a million times. The brushes I've been using for bronzer are just not working correctly. Like, it's not picking it up right, they're not moving on my face correctly, and the bronzer brush I was using before like stopped working. It was super old, it was just all deformed, and it just wasn't working anymore, so I got rid of it. So I've been trying to find a new brush, and just none of them are working. I don't know what it is, but I've been using this one from Walgreens. It doesn't have a label on it, but it was in a brush set, and this is what I've been using, and I do have this on today. I love the bronzer. It does have a scent. If you've tried any of the Infallible, like the Fresh Wear stuff from L'Oreal, it has the same scent. It's like a weird alcohol scent. I do like the bronzer a lot. I'm glad I found a brush that I really like to use with it. Although I've gone back and forth on this brush, it works great with this bronzer, and I am going to keep it. I like it a lot. Lasts all day long. It's a great color for me. I have the shade 250 Light, and it's really nice. It says waterproof. I've never tested that claim, but like the bronzer, gonna keep it. The concealer I picked out is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer. I didn't like this very much this month. I don't know what it was about it. I feel like I've liked it before. It has that butter scent, which I do like. This is a really, really like juicy, wet look concealer. It's very moisturizing. But I don't know what it was this month. I just didn't like it. Every single time I used it, I didn't like the way it looked at all. I just never really like enjoyed my makeup that day, and I like to enjoy the process of putting it on, and I never really enjoyed reaching for this. I think it's a little too light as well. Like, it just looks a little obviously too light on my skin. Like, you could see where I put it, and gonna declutter it. Same with the foundation. I did mention this in my foundation collection declutter video, which I put up just recently. This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. I have here the shade. I think it's light, but it is rubbed off of the packaging, so I don't know for sure, but I think that's what it was. I've gone back and forth with this over the years. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it, sometimes I don't get it. But recently I loved it so much. I went on vacation, I used this every day I was out there, and I loved it. I loved the way it looked. But when I came home, I stopped loving it. I don't know, every single day that I used this, I just did not like my makeup. I felt like it looked too heavy or something, like too, I don't know, it was just something like this was too full coverage, too heavy, too thick, too much, like kind of weird. I don't know why. I don't know why I've fallen out of love with it again, and I am going to declutter it. It's pretty full, it's not expired, and I think someone else would be able to get a lot of use out of this and love it. That person is not me, and I'm gonna pass this along. So, decluttering that. The highlighter I picked out is the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter in the shade 250. I don't know if they still make this shade. If you know, let me know. I guess I could look it up myself. But I didn't see it at the store recently because I wanted to repurchase it because I broke the lid. The lid was, you know, hanging on by a thread, but for some reason, when I opened it, I twisted it. I don't know why I thought it was a twist off for some reason. But instead of just stopping when I felt the resistance, I was like, no, it's a twist off, and I broke it off. I don't know what's wrong with me. The highlighter is so pretty. This is one of my favorite formulas ever. I love the Maybelline metallic highlighters. I think they're so good. You can go light, you can go heavy, you can go like full crazy if you want to, or you can like buff out just a little bit and it'll be a really nice, beautiful glow. I do have this on today, but let's put some more on. I think this is so, so pretty. I wish they would re-promote these because right now they have them on the bottom shelf, at least at my store. And these deserve to be like at the top shelf. They're so good. I also love the shade Molten Rose Gold. That one I think is my favorite. If they still make this, I want to repurchase it because the lid, like it doesn't even click on where it'll at least stay there. It'll literally just fall right off. So I love this though, and I am going to keep it carefully. The powder I picked out is one that I used to love and I hadn't used in a while. It's the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. And when I pulled this out, I hit pan on it. I love this stuff. I think it's really good. It's a really interesting formula. So when I first started using it at the beginning of the month, I don't know, maybe it was just the brush I was using, but I was like not liking it. And I thought, ugh, like why did I ever like this? But then I used a different brush. Sometimes you're just using the wrong tool, at least in my experience. So I started using a bigger brush like this and I dust it back and forth. Make sure to really coat the brush. It is kind of a weird formula and you're gonna feel like you're not getting anything on the brush because it's just so light. But when you start putting it on, you'll see what looks like a filter suddenly like building on your skin. And the way that this sets makeup and just, I swear it looks like a filter. Like it has like a blurring effect. It's so, so pretty. Did I tell you the shade? I have two neutral. So they do have a bunch of shades. The color does show up. It's not super intense. Like I don't feel like this is a foundation powder or anything, but it is enough where you got to get a shade that's going to work for your skin tone because it is going to show up just a little bit. I freaking love this. Obviously, I hit pan. I look forward to using this every single day. And I think I'm going to carry this into October because, I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it. And I think I just found the right brush, the right technique. I like to press this into the skin and not really buff it around. That's just my preference, but I feel like buffing would be just fine as well. It sets your makeup but doesn't completely like flatten or mattify or flattify your face. This does have a really pretty like subtle satin finish. It seems like something Hourglass would have made, but a little more subtle. I think it's so, so beautiful and I am obviously gonna keep it. The last product I shopped my stash for is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette from Morphe. I hadn't used this in probably over 2 years, like minimum over 2 years. I want to say probably 3. I got this when it came out because I have the first palette and I really enjoyed it. And this one just looked like a lot more fun than that one, although I love that one too. This one just looked a lot more fun. Like it's super, super bright, tons and tons of colors in here. But back then, I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. I don't know why. But I pulled this out and you know what I did? I worked my way through every single row. So the first day I picked this one and that one. The next day I picked that shade and that shade. I literally used every single shade. And all of the shimmers in here I think are terrible. Like I think they're really, really bad. They don't stick on the lid. They're kind of cheap looking. They're super flaky. They're just not the best quality, but there aren't that many in here, which is great. So I loved every single shade except the shimmers up until this one here called Dance Party. I tried that shadow out the day that I filmed the Dior Micellar Water review video. If you watched that video and you watched me try to remove this pink eyeshadow from my eyelids, it's that one. It was such a mess. It would not blend, and the more I blended it, the more it was just like getting crazy and out of hand. I could not with that shadow. And I don't know if it was just that one that kind of like cursed the rest of the palette, but all the rest of the bottom row, with the exception of the black, was terrible. I couldn't get any of these colors here to move, to blend, to do anything. So from this shade all the way up to this one, I didn't like any of those. I did use the black actually, and I really enjoyed it. I was going to put this on today because I wanted to recreate one of my favorite looks that I did using like these colors here. It was so pretty. But I completely forgot to use it today. I'm wearing something else. But I really enjoyed this, and although the bottom row, not my favorite, I liked this and I had so much fun with this palette. Next time I pick a large palette, I think I'm gonna do the same thing and just kind of work my way literally through every single shade, because I don't know, it was just kind of fun that way. Although the first like week or so were all warm brown looks, and maybe that's why that cool tone blush didn't really work that time. But love the palette, definitely going to keep it. But that is it. Those are all the products I shopped my stash for September. It was a pretty successful month, a couple of declutters and a couple of misses, but for the most part, I like the products that I picked out. And I can't wait for October. I'm thinking of doing like all foundations only and working my way through every single one that I kept and decided not to declutter. Or I'm gonna do all cream stuff, because I have a lot of liquids and cream like blushes, highlighters, and different things like that that I want to use, because powder stuff can sit there all day and never expire, like it'll take forever. But liquid and cream stuff, it has an expiration date that comes up a lot sooner than the powder stuff. So let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you, but that is it. Let me know what you shopped your stash for September and how you felt about it. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next one. And I will see you later in another video.